And here you go already. Look at this. Superman is targeting a 200 million global start. That is what is being said. I believe it. All right. So there he is. There's David Cornsweet with, speaking of Frank Grillo is going to be on Matt Serra's show next week.
Nice.
Just found that out. Box office tracking figures for James Gunn's Superman appear to be on the rise. The film is reportedly on track for a domestic opening of over 100 million, says the studio, with third-party tracking services putting the number closer to 115 to 130. The film is also opening in 78 markets overseas, where it is likewise expected to nab an opening of 100 million, bringing its worldwide opening weekend to a minimum of 200 million, likely over. It's definitely going to do over 200 million. The film first appeared on tracking services NRG 3 weeks ago with a figure of 135 million, a number that quickly dropped to 130, but has remained steady since. With reviews singing the praises now floating around, it's expected to only boost the film's fortunes. Domestic pre-sales stand at 20 million, ahead of Guardians Volume 3, which opened at 118.4. The film will top the chart, pushing Jurassic World Rebirth down to second place in its second weekend with a 55% drop expected and a domestic second weekend haul of 60 million. The first of these sold-out Amazon Prime member paid screenings of Superman kick off tonight at 7 p.m. Okay. Chris, you see these numbers and the projection, what they're supposed to be. 200 to me seems really low as far as what they're projecting. I think it's going to be closer to 300 myself, but what do you think?
I think so too. I think that's a really modest estimate, but I also think there's been so much talk around this movie of it has to make $1 billion or it's a failure and all this other nonsense that I feel like we're just getting this kind of, let's dip our toe in the water and go, it's going to at least make this. And that's fine. That's totally cool. This movie just needs to break even, really. But I do think it's going to do significantly more than that 200 number.
I do too. And I think, well, as far as opening weekend, I think I think it makes about 130. I think that's what's going to do. Okay. He's tracking. He's going to blow past the 110, 115. I think he's do 130. And I think it'll open between 3 to 350 worldwide, I think, if not more. Because you can always tell like the hype behind a movie when you really look online, and I'll tell you, sometimes you put an out of the theater reaction or something up and it will do well, and it doesn't mean the movie's going to do well. I mean, I have done Snow White did 105,000, but that was a different reason. People want to see it. Is it as terrible as I think it is? Sometimes that happens. I remember what was that movie with Adam Driver that came out about he crashed on a planet? It was like
47 or something like that.
Something like that.
It was a number.
Yeah. That I don't know how nobody saw that movie. That reaction alone did like 60 to 80,000 views, and I was like, does that mean this movie's going to do well? No, it doesn't. I mean, people could be curious about it and they stay away from it. This is different. Everybody that I did this morning. I did a search for out of the theater reactions. There are people who are doing this that are just fans who just got to see it a little early, doing it and promoting it and getting the word out there. And the other thing is that I'd say, you look at the score, I think it's like 80, 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it's like 90 on the fan score right now. It goes a long way. There are people, and I'll give my, initial thoughts on it, because I put out my review this morning on it. And I just say it now. I think that because I kept my out of the theater reaction, I said, I think that what it did well and what I was concerned with, there's a balance to me that sometimes, especially in a James Gunn movie, that the humor can overtake it, right? And it can overtake certain moments. And there are some people who feel that that's exactly what happened in this movie. There are some reviewers that thought exactly that. The reason why, surprisingly, which I usually always feel that with movies when it comes out of nowhere, I just feel the tone is consistent. I feel like the tone, I feel like they set you up from the beginning that this is how it's going to happen, and these are the types of people that are going to say it, and these are how the characters are. That when it happened for me, I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, you could have sat in that moment a little bit more, and I think you probably could have developed the character a little bit more. But you told me pretty early on that that's not what we're doing in this movie. And the criticism, and because Dan Merle's a very close friend of mine, and people kept sending me his reviews, like, look what Dan said. Do you agree? I understand his criticisms 100%. I happen to agree with a lot of them, but what I'm going to tell you is there's a difference in if you're enjoying what is set up and the tone that is presented, you can look past some of those things and go, I'm just having a fun time with this. If you can't look past some of those things, you're going to have a look and go, look, I'm just watching this sort of critical eye. I'm not enjoying this film. And this is how I'm presenting it. I agree with a lot of what Dan said. I just had a lot of fun with the film, if that makes sense. The warm weather is beginning, and juggling vacations, visitors, zero routine. Hydrow brings me back to that structure so I can get it quick. I can get efficient workouts that keep me feeling grounded no matter what the calendar looks like. Hydrow to me is kind of the secret weapon for a full body workout. It's like 86% of your muscles, arms, legs, core, all of it. You knock it out in 20 minutes. It's super efficient and it actually works. So one thing that I really love about it is you don't get bored. Hydrow, it has so many workouts. It's got tons of workouts. Actual Olympians are telling you what to do. And they're filmed in these gorgeous outdoor spots all over the world. It makes it way easier to stay motivated. So if you're on the fence, there's free shipping, a 30-day risk-free trial. That alone is perfect. Hydrow offers a full year warranty. Honestly, there's no pressure. Try it out. See how it feels. So a lot of people getting a good sweat in used to mean hours in the gym. But with Hydrow, I do it all at home, on my schedule, 20 minutes. On the weekend, it's the best. Rowing on my Hydrow, it gets me that full body workout without ever having to leave my house. It's so convenient. I just have it set up in my place. And I was like, okay, weekend, can I get out? What am I doing? We're busy. You know what? I have 20 minutes. Boom. In my house, convenient. Hop in the shower afterwards. I am good. So skip the gym, not the workout. Stay on track with Hydrow. For a limited time, go to hydrow.com. Use that code Kristian. Save up to $475 off of your Hydrow. That is HYDROW.com. Use the code Kristian. Save up to $475. Hydrow.com. Code Kristian.
Yeah, absolutely. You can enjoy something and it can still have issues.
Yeah.
And you can really dislike something and understand where it does have merit. And I know this week, Brett, I'm working on it. I'm going to have some really ridiculous snap judgments so that we get more clicks. I'm going to be a real asshole in this episode.
Good.
But your reviews can have some nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Brett, what do you think about this movie?
I totally agree. Well, no, I think that, yes, as far as the numbers, I feel like that's when my dad was like, oh, yeah, I was all right at ping pong, I guess, when I was a kid, and then just destroys me playing ping pong as a child. It's they're lowballing it so they don't get destroyed. That's what my thought on that is. I think that, when we were talking about last week, not a lot of people of the average Joe knowing about whether there's a new Superman or if this is coming out. I do think that when they do find out, and as they find out, I think that people will go to this because I think Superman's a universally loved character, and it's something that people are going to go, oh, there is, I'd love to go see that. It's not like something they don't know about.
It's exactly right. It's an IP that people are very familiar with, and it is a different version of Superman. And I think I think you're going to love it, Chris. I think you're going to love it. I think it's such a comic book movie. It really is a comic movie. But my friend David told me, he said, what am I going to think about Superman? I said, you're going to hate it. He's going to hate it because he's not it is very much aimed at the comic book movie and comic book fan. Very much so. It's not really aimed at the casual fan. It really isn't. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That's you're alienating people. Not really, because comic book movie fans and the comic books in general, the audience has grown significantly over 10 years. It's a very large audience. So you can still make a lot of money with just that audience, but I do think that there's going to be some people who see the movie going, oh, he's fighting monsters. It's a science fiction thing. It's a lot of different stuff going on. And I do think that is one of the criticisms I had with it. There's so much going on sometimes that you're like, oh, I just wish you would have focused in on that character a little bit more because it was there and I'm so interested and I'm locked in on this character, and it's not enough buildup. Not enough buildup. And there's that. But like I said, enough to me going, I just walked out going, I got a smile on my face. I feel good. Superman's back. It's nice. So when are you going to see it, Chris?
Tomorrow.
Yes. Nice.
I'll be tomorrow in Burbank. If you guys see me, say hi, everybody.
Please.
I'll be with Logan.
Yeah, please. But yeah, I think that people are going to have a very fun time with this movie overall. I think that's why the audience is responding to it. It's going to make money. It's going to make a lot of money. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I can't take that. I can't. That go away.
Please share.
Please stop that. I mean, if you didn't know what criticism is criticism, and it's like and like I said, it is a really fun movie, and it's going to do good, and it's a well-made movie. That is not negative. That's called criticism. Go stick your head in your asshole. Now I'm being negative. So let's. I'm very curious to what you guys think. What do you think? You think this movie's going to do big numbers, little numbers? Is it going to disappoint? Put your thoughts in there. What say you? I got to know. I'm very, 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 very curious.